Very, very excited for this film. So nice to be sitting down with all of you. We chatted at CinemaCon, which was a couple of months ago. So where are we in the process of this film from a few months ago?
I have no idea.
It's a blur at this point.
All a blur. But so much of the movie, because of the style, making the film, it's just rapidly, scenes that existed when we spoke. Now they're like 8 steps farther along, so I can't even say. It's like, it's all a fog.
Yeah. Is the film finished, though, at this point, or still working?
Finishing.
Finishing. Finishing. You, sir, if you can just talk about the original film, so much music in that film. The Elton John song is iconic. You're bringing all new music to this film. Did you look back as you started this, or was this kind of like a clean slate for you in terms of like how you approached it?
Yeah, looking back doesn't feel like the right word, because The Lion King has never left our culture.
That's true.
I mean, I remember that trailer coming out. It was the flex of all flexes. It was not even a trailer. It was just, here's the first 4 minutes of our movie. See you at the movies. And we were all like, yes, we want to see more of that. And also the musical legacy, in addition to the incredible songs in the original, got expanded upon in this amazing Broadway musical that is now one of the biggest, longest running Broadway musicals of all time. I know it was the first show I took my kids to see. It's a lot of people's first Broadway musical. So there's this incredible musical legacy, and it's a great group to be in. But honestly, Barry sent me the script, and I was just so bowled over by the script. And it's very rare that I read a screenplay and I go, oh, a song goes here. And actually, that line of dialogue, that's the title of the song. It really, like, the moments that needed to sing jumped out so clearly that I couldn't wait to work on it.
I mean, we all think of that. Like when you say the words The Lion King, you think of that. And I'm not going to even remotely try to sing it, but that chant, that beautiful...
You're wiser than most reporters we've talked to. But Lebo M is the person who sings that. He's an incredible songwriter and performer, and his voice is the first voice you hear in that movie, and his voice is the first voice you hear in our film. And one of the reasons to say yes to this gig is to get to work with Lebo M and his incredible choral arrangements, because that's what makes it sound like The Lion King.
So what can you say about what we're going to hear that you created in this film?
I mean, I think my job always when I'm working on one of these movies is really just try to present the characters as clearly and honestly as possible. And the fun of this, Barry can speak to this more, is we think we know Mufasa. We think we know Scar because we met them at a really specific point in their lives, way back in 1994 to another generation of the 2019 movie. But what I love about this movie is that, it's so easy. Our kids get so much entertainment. That's the good guy, that's the bad guy. That's the nice lady, that's the mean lady. And you learn in this movie that we are not all good and we're not all bad. There's no good and evil. There's just choices that we all make. And we see the choices and circumstances that lead us to meet the Scar and Mufasa that we think we know. Yeah. And it's so much different than I anticipated. I was turning those pages and I couldn't wait to see what happened. So I think people are going to be really surprised.
So I want to chat with all you voice actors then. When you were turning the pages, if you could sort of maybe explain to the audiences first who each of you play, and the emotional connection that you had with your characters as you were turning those pages.
I played Taka, a.k.a. Scar. And I remember when because listen, I wanted to play Scar so bad. Scar's my favorite character. I love Scar. I was rooting for Scar, whatever. But when I was reading the script, I honestly started crying. To understand where he was coming from, his perspective on it all, made me feel really just human. People get to these places and we judge them, we have these ideas of them, but then you bring it all back, and then you start to kind of go, man, this is such a simple love. You know what I mean? There's such a simple need that needs to be kind of understood now. And so, I mean, yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah, that was beautiful.
I feel very similarly. I think for me, one of my greatest takeaways from The Lion King is that I think when I first watched it, I saw Mufasa as this great pillar, this immovable, beautiful father and leader and king. And I think what Barry and Lin and Lebo and everyone have done so beautifully with this story is they've made it accessible how they became those people, so that kids, hopefully, when they see it, they don't go, "That's cool and that's wonderful," but I can't reach it. I can't get there. You know, they've given us these beautiful journeys to find how Mufasa became who he is, the turbulence, the triumphs, the losses, the heartbreak, the love, all of that led to the great Mufasa that James L. Jones brought to us, who, by the way, that's my greatest inspiration. So
wow.
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
Wow.
Really wonderful.
Wow.
I play Afia, and I am Mufasa's mother. And the offer came through, and I was like, okay, well, let me read this script. And I started reading the script, and I said, oh, Lord, am I going to die?
It's not a great track record for Disney moms.
And I might not. We'll see. But it's a beautiful role of nourishing someone to life, nourishing someone to love, nourishing someone to hope, and keeping that alive in times that are not what you would like for them to be, teaching them the value of the journey, and to keep looking forward. And so it's a lovely, lovely thing to be able to be that voice in this space with our future king.
I'm wondering, because we sort of talked about the beginning of the process for all of you and sort of getting into the spirit, but being on the other side of it, having completed it, what kind of cathartic, I know every time I talk to voice actors, they talk about what a cathartic experience it is, but you all have such reverence for your characters. Being on the other side of it, how does it feel?
I haven't seen it.
I'm
Okay.
The catharsis is still in the future.
We're still
I've seen it.
To be honest, I feel like I still have a reverence, and I feel like it would be like almost impossible for me to not have that reverence, because I was so young when I first ever saw the original Lion King. So for me, it's still like a tremendous honor. It's still the gift that keeps on giving. This man intentionally gave me the offer on my birthday, so it is like a gift that keeps on giving. So I'm very, very honored to be here still.
You've seen it? What can you say?
I've seen it. I mean, I'm incredibly proud of it. I'm incredibly proud to write music at the service of Barry's story and Barry's beautiful film. Yeah, I can't wait for the world to see it.
And I'm going to end with you, fearless leader. There's such a quality about The Lion King that it's deep, right? Like you see it and there's a deep connection to it. For you, as you're continuing to work on it, what would you say to audiences about how they're going to connect with this film and how you're hoping they're going to connect with this film?
Yeah, I think everyone here has laid it out in some way. The Lion King is a part of culture. You do this with an apple and people know you're referencing, and so it's just one of those things where so many of us, and I'm just speaking of human beings all around the world, we share this cultural touchstone, and to bring this kind of energy to it, this thoughtfulness to it, to sort of unearth some new things about us as people, as human beings through these characters. I know it's really humbling. I really hope that's what people take away from the film, because we're all looking for a shared conversation, a shared place of communion, and The Lion King, of all things, is one of those central spaces. And I just feel so blessed that I got to be a part of running back into that space to give something new to the world.